Now, as the boats warm up, here's the lineup. Circus, driven by Chip Hanauer. Tommy D in the U1 Miss Budweiser. Mr. Pringle, George Woods Jr. in the cockpit. Jim Cropfeld to drive the Winston Eagle. Jerry Hopp in the Thor Racing. Oh Boy Alberto, Mark Tate in the U2. And the provisional starter trailing the field would be Mitch Evans in Cooper's Express. 1 minute gun. Less than a minute to go as we look on the right to Miss Budweiser. On the left is to Mr. Pringles. Circus is out there. This is a very important part. Which lane do you want? Which is the smooth water? Are you going to get pinned in lane number 1? Or will you take it high and wide? Here's the national high point leader, Miss Budweiser, down now to 673-point lead over this boat. Second place nationally, the Miss Circus.
A lot at stake here, Jim. The race win is on the line here in Milwaukee. The points race overall in the national championship, it's getting tighter. Plus, there's a matter of pride. Chip Hanauer and Tom Deeth have been battling all year long. Nothing new here in Milwaukee.
Jim Cropfeld on the buoy line takes lane number 1 in the Winston Eagle. The Miss Circus with Chip Hanauer in lane 2. On lane 3 is Tom Deeth and the Miss Budweiser. The rest of the field is trailing as we start the race here on the western shores of Lake Michigan, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's Circus going into corner number 1 first, and we'll take that turn sweeping wide all 1,100 feet.
Jim, do we have a repeat in the making of the Seattle race where Chip Hanauer led wire to wire in the final in rough water? Right now, Tommy Deeth is trying to make up ground, but not getting it done.
Tom Deeth in second place, and Miss Budweiser doing a little wobble as he comes down the back chute. In third place, it's the Winston Eagle with Jim Cropfeld, and whoa, look at the ride. That Chip Hanauer goes through that northern turn down near the pits in the Circus.
Jim, at the top of the show, we established the fact that Chip Hanauer is probably the best rough water driver in unlimited hydroplane racing, and Tommy Deeth has a reputation for being number 1 at the starts. Not so here in Milwaukee. Chip Hanauer clearly got the edge at the start, and he's making it work for him. 139.659. The Circus is running hard in the rough water. Chip Hanauer has really got it hung out.
He's driving the Pink Lady right on the brink. Spots it up, spots it down, raise the front end, slam it down. He's just guiding an unruly monster in first place. Second place, Tom Deeth in the Miss Budweiser as he comes down the back chute. Tommy, if he maintains this position, will lose 200 total points on the day. Here's our third place boat, Mr. Pringles, George Woods Jr. from Seattle, Washington, as we go back to our leader.
Credit Chip Hanauer's crew chief, Dave Villwalk, for doing an excellent job on the setup. There was a lot of guessing coming in here to Milwaukee because test time was so limited. He's obviously given Chip a combination that'll work.
137.680 mile an hour on lap 2, and look at that front end come up. You see the whole skid fin exposed, and that boat is just flying across this rough water course here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We have half the heat in, 2.5 laps, and second place still rides Miss Budweiser. Third place boat is Mr. Pringles, who's about a 130.8 mile an hour on the lap. The Circus laps the Cooper's Express, which was the provisional starter. We're looking at our 5th place boat, Oh Boy Alberto. The cowling mark is missing in back of the driver.
Rough water's taking its toll on Mark Tate's boat. They've broken off the cowling, which is going to change the aerodynamics on the Oh Boy Alberto. Chip Hanauer out in front. You have to wonder, Jim, when's the charge going to come from Tommy Deeth? You know he's got the speed to try to make it interesting. So far, it hasn't happened. And if anything, Chip Hanauer has widened the gap between first and second place.
Circus has completed now 3 laps, 2 more laps to go. As we look at our second place boat getting a little wild, Tommy Deeth riding late in Miss Budweiser, so maybe with the water conditions, he cannot catch the Circus.
Tommy Deeth has been running unlimited hydroplanes since the early 1970s. However, Jim, he's never finished a whole season where he started every race. Oh, look at the Alberto. Earlier, the cowling was coming off. Now the sponsor's breaking up. Rough water is really taking a toll.
Looks like it's the top part of that right sponsor that has the problem. He pulls to the infield. Mark Tate is out of the race. Meanwhile, our leader, Miss Circus, driven by Chip Hanauer, comes off of corner number 4. He'll get the green flag, signifying 1 more lap to go. And if he can maintain the lead, and he's probably hearing gremlins right now, he'll have won his 4th race of the year out of 8. He'll tie in victories with Tommy Deeth and the Miss Budweiser, 4 apiece, and pull within 573 points of the HFC High Point Championship.
An amazing turn of events here. Chip Hanauer got a great start, and Tommy Deeth has never closed the gap on the Circus. Chip put a fresh engine in just before the final. Obviously, he's making good horsepower.
As we look at our leader, coming down the back chute for the final time, the Miss Circus. Here is your 4th place boat, the Winston Eagle. He'll get the green flag. 1 more left to go for Jim Cropfeld from Cincinnati, Ohio. Former national high point champion in his own right in Unlimiteds. But here's the pink lady bouncing out of the water for Chip Hanauer. Comes around near the pit area, the north end of the turn. He spots the checker flag, and he'll come down to win race number 4 for the Circus team for 1990.
An impressive win for the Circus team. That makes it 2 in a row for Chip Hanauer. Coming into the Milwaukee race, Chip had made an exhibition lap in the harbor here. Said, I don't know if this race course is suitable for unlimited hydroplane racing. I'll bet Jimmy's changed his mind now.
At least he knows he won the first race ever held here. As we look at our 2nd place boat, Miss Budweiser, here's Mr. Pringles. 3rd place finish for George Woods Jr. As coming off the front of number 4 and lapping the Coopers Express will be our 4th place finisher. It'll be the Winston Eagle with Jim Cropfeld. He's had a bouncing rough ride in the Winston Eagle entry today. Here's our final field with Circus winning overall. Miss Budweiser 2nd, Pringles 3rd, and the rest of the field. We have a happy driver getting out of the cockpit of the Circus. Mark will be talking to him. We'll be back in just a moment. Back here in Milwaukee, a very happy Circus Unlimited hydroplane winning crew. Let's go down to the pits and Mark Spencer.
Chip Hanauer, a big win. 20 years from now, when they look back in the history books at the winner of the first Milwaukee race, it's going to say Chip Hanauer in the Circus.
Yeah, it's really fun coming here, and I have a lot of old friends here because of the Miller Brewing Company, and a lot of people from the brewery came down and wished us well, and I just want to thank Dave Vilwack and the entire team. I just have the nicest, hardest working, intelligent group of people I've ever been surrounded with, and just the execs at Circus, and it's just really great.
Things went your way right from the start.
Yeah, I finally got a bloody start, you know, and it had a good start and had the inside, and the boat handled well. It was just, if you sit down and you try and design what you want for a final heat drive, we got it today, and I'm glad it came when it did, because the first 2 heats, I didn't feel very good. I felt kind of out of sync, and I really got in sync in the final.
Were you surprised that Tommy Deeth wasn't more of a factor in the final?
He's a factor. Easy for you guys to say. Dave lets me know where he's at, and a couple times I think he made runs at us, and I never could just, you know, sometimes by the 3rd, 4th, 5th lap you can start to ease out, but Tom kept us honest, and we had to keep a pace up the entire time.
Water conditions, how were they?
They're rough. They're really rough. Roughest they've been all day. This wind has switched directions, I think, about 68 times here in the last 2 hours, and I think it's going to be the nature of racing in Milwaukee. I think we learned a lot here. I think maybe we can position the race course a little better, and my hat's off to Milwaukee. They came in here, took a big chance, and I wasn't sure if they could put a race on or not here, and they did it, and I'm real proud of them.
That's 2 in a row for the Circus. Things are going to get interesting in the points parade as it comes down here to the final few races.
Yeah, you know, we've made up a lot in the last 2 races. We've made up 400 points, and we're right back in it now. It's going to go all the way to Las Vegas, and that's all I ask. I don't, you know, winning it would be great, but we'd just love to get at least to go down to the last race.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it.